In a win for men's rights, the government of Northern Ireland just recognized male victims and made public statements about needing to address the problem. Plea for refuge for male victims of domestic violence in Northern Ireland. And then I do apologize if you see the smallest text I've ever seen. A group supporting male victims and survivors of domestic abuse has said there is an urgent need for funding for a refuge in Northern Ireland to help them. Men's Alliance and I met with Health Minister Mike Nisbet on Wednesday, along with officials from Stormont's Justice and Community Department. Now, why I find that significant is they actually met with a government official, the health minister, which is encouraging because it means the government took them seriously enough to actually attend the meeting. And a quote from Kerry Baxter, the chairman of Men's Alliance Northern Ireland: "Men leaving domestic abuse, leaving abusive relationships, they need to have options," he told BBC Radio Ulster. "At the minute, they basically have nowhere to go. In 2026, we should be able to give them a roof over their heads. They may find that they leave abusive relationships and go to the housing executive, and because they are a single man with no children with them, they go to the very bottom of the list." Now, some people don't like it when I do this, and they say it hurts the message, but I'm going to say it because it's true, and it's not going to change until you address it. Yes, as of right now, there is no shelter or place for men to go in Northern Ireland, and yes, I do blame feminists. Feminist groups 100% campaign against men's shelters and against recognizing male victims under law. Listen to this part. Baxter said the group was not campaigning for funding being taken away from women's refuges. "They are important for the safety of women. That funding should be protected," he said. "What we are asking for is funding to help us open a refuge for men. And that shouldn't impact on services for women. We've been very, very clear about that from the start." Now, the reason they felt the need to say that about the very, very clear is that that's what feminists say whenever someone talks about opening a men's shelter is, "Oh, that'll take money away from women's shelters." Even if it doesn't, and that's not what they're saying at all, that's still what feminists say. But here's the important part of this article. In a statement, the Department of Justice said it acknowledges that the lack of a dedicated refuge or emergency accommodation specifically designed for male victims of domestic abuse means that some men are left with extremely limited options when they need to leave an abusive home, placing them at an increased risk of homelessness, isolation, or remaining in abusive situations. The government just acknowledged three things: that male victims exist, that the problem can be quite severe, and that there's no help available. That's huge. Now, do I think anything's going to happen? Maybe. But I guarantee you, feminist groups 100% will try and block any men's shelter from being built or any law being changed. But it's a start.